Missing is opening up this weekend in the theaters, guys, and stars Storm Reid and Nia Long. And it tells the tale of, after her mother goes missing on a vacation, a young woman tries to find her from home using tools available to her online. Now, if you haven't seen a type of movie like this before, I think the only other one is called Searching, where very much at times you will just see like screens like this, like from people's phones, as the shot. You'll see desktops of people doing Google searches and stuff like that, looking at security camera footage and stuff. But don't worry about it, because they do it in such a way that just keeps you intrigued and invested in the film as you try to unravel this mystery that Storm Reid is trying to do, trying to find her mother that's gone missing with her boyfriend in Colombia. Who else is in this movie? Well, I said it was Nia Long, right? Plays the mother. Tim Griffin is in this. Ken Leong, right? Plays kind of like the boyfriend. Amy Landecker. You'll recognize this Ken Leong guy. He was in X-Men Last Stand. He was also in Lost. You'll recognize his face. He's one of those actors where he's been on a lot of stuff, and when you see him, you'll be like, okay, yeah, I know who that guy is. My initial impression was that it was good, guys. A touch long, I would suppose, at times, but overall, the acting was pretty good, and one of the standouts that they're not showing too much here for some reason, because when you come out of this film, you're going to be championing one guy, and they're not. Yeah, Javi, right there. He's kind of like somebody that she calls for help in Colombia, and he's another recognizable face. And he's just kind of like, he's got a sensibility about him that you just kind of you trust this guy, right? Joaquim de Almeida. He plays bad guys in some other things. Mostly, right? Fast Five, Desperado, Behind Enemy Lines, Clear and Present Danger. Warrior Nun? No, he was in Warrior Nun. Bummer that got canceled then, huh? You'll be thinking about this guy when the movie's done, because he's got a really interesting story arc, and the way that it's crafted, you mostly just see him on a WhatsApp conversation, and it's really interesting acting. It truly is. I enjoyed it. So it's got good story, good acting, interesting directing with dancing around with just the fact that sometimes, you just see Google pages, people trying to figure out their passwords to get back into things and stuff like that. But it's like, as you're seeing it, it's like what you would do on a computer, right? So it's really kind of, it's intriguing. And I recommend people go out and check it out for that fact. And Storm Reid, I can't champion enough, because sometimes you just see her on the screen, on a phone screen, on like a wider shot. So and she's got to deliver performances, and it's very good. 81% by the critics, 89% by the audience score as of January 21st. So it's only been out for a day now, day and a half, right? Missing. People have kind of lumped it into the horror genre, and I wouldn't say that. There's nothing scary in this. I guess there is sort of a kidnapping that does happen, right? So if you find that a little bit scary, then there are elements in there that, due to a kidnapping, that is kind of creepy, but it's more of a mystery, and it's something that unfolds when you think that you've got it figured out, it goes in a totally different direction, and they add another layer onto it, and it's kind of like, that's a good movie. I'm enjoying this, and that's the way I felt in the theater. Let's take a look at some of the snapshot reviews for what people are saying here and see if we agree with them. Let's take a look at from Movie Mom. It builds lightly on the original, but is very much its own treat of a twisty thrill. And somebody's just trying to lump in the fact that this movie was made in the same vein as a movie called Searching, where it was kind of like you would be looking at laptops and search bars and stuff like that. It's sort of like in that vein, but people who've seen that movie are trying to compare it. You don't need to see that movie at all. In fact, I would just put that movie out of your mind while going to see this movie, because this movie does stand on its own. Let's take a look at a bad one here from New York Times. It's not exactly riveting to watch June download and install WhatsApp so that she can video call to Colombia. Well, I thought it was. Yet there's some pleasure in a brains over brawn quest that flatters us to fancy that we might be clever enough to solve it ourselves. Well, and that's a bad review. I don't know. Globe and Mail says missing is a delightful surprise. That's what I would say. It's a surprise for sure. Because I didn't think I would like it as much, and it moves fast. The pacing is fast. Let's take a look. One more look at a bad one here. Blu-ray.com says missing isn't a real stunner in terms of summoning tension, falling a little short of its predecessor. Again, I don't want to care. I don't care about a movie just like it. I don't want to hear comparisons like that at all. Get out of here. If there is a movie that can successfully self-concept its screen life genre, who cares? An energized, timely, tech-savvy thriller set in a scary surveillance state. But what I enjoyed about it was that it showed how the youth embrace technology a little bit, how they think about looking at security camera footage from like far away and stuff like that, contacting like not Uber drivers, but like people that work in other countries that you can call up and say, oh, for $8 an hour, you can employ my services. It's a very intriguing idea that they would think of stuff like that. That's what I found fascinating. And Storm Reid, she's developing into a very, very talented actress. I'm looking forward to more work from her for sure. We saw her in that Invisible Man remake, right? And we did a full watch along for that too here on the channel. Go check that out. And I think I commented on her work in that as well, that she did good. Does it suspend the realm of disbelief at sometimes, suspend that disbelief at sometimes for you to say, okay, well, perhaps that wouldn't happen. Does it have the odd trope in there? It's like, what are you doing? Get out of there. Run, run, run. It has a few of those maybe, but it's minor, and it won't detract your overall experience that way that I feel. I would give Missing, what is the critics here? 8 out of 10 is what audiences are liking it more than the critics. And so, yeah, I would probably end up giving Missing a 7.5 out of 10. No, strike that. I would agree with the critics. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 for Missing. Have you guys gone out and seen it this weekend? Are you going to go out and see it? Hey, if you're bored one afternoon and you want to go see a matinee, go check this out. It's just a fun little romp, and it keeps you intrigued throughout. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. All right, you're watching Mirror Domains. If you've liked what you've seen, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Yeah. Tended to ramble on a little bit longer on that one, but that's okay. I'll cut that out and I'll post it up by itself later on for people who want to hear a more extended version of it. Is it worthwhile talking spoilers for this movie? Nah, I don't think it is. I'm curious to see where it lands in the weekend's box office, though. I definitely am.